we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Excuse me? A baking powder? Excuse me? A baking powder? Excuse me?
So the people that were in front of me, there were two people in front of me that used a Sharpie.
Yes.
That was given to them by the poll workers.
Yes.
It did not read their ballot.
Okay.
And they slid it in there twice. I used a pen.
Yep.
Took their Sharpie and threw it away.
And it read your ballot.
And it read my ballot.
And it read your ballot.
And it read my
So
ballot.
what they're doing is they're telling people to use the Sharpies. That way,
yes,
those votes aren't counted.
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yes.
So there was other people that were in there voting with their pens, and they literally went around and they were yanking pens out of their hands.
Yes, they tried to do that to me, and I took their Sharpie and I hid it, because then they said, look for all the Sharpies that are not being used and take the Sharpies back. They had a bowl of pens behind them that they were not giving to people and only giving Sharpies out.
There we go. So the ones with the Sharpies are not being read at all.
No.
No. None of those ballots are being read.
Of course not.
So that's again, and so they're doing it because they're trying to skew all of the votes in there.
And
That's exactly what's going on.
They didn't even slide it more than one time. They immediately took it and slid it in the front, like not even tried a second time. They just
That's correct.
ran it through and slid it in the front, and I was like, wait a
That's what they
second.
did with yours?
Yep, and I just went with a Sharpie and voted Trump, and they just slid it in, and that was it.
But they're not counting. They're not counting the ones with the Sharpies. And so they're forcing people to use the Sharpies, and those votes aren't being counted.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Right. And then I posted it on my Facebook group chat in my neighborhood. They said they did it at the Queen Creek Library. They did it at ASU Polytech earlier. They're like 4 different polling places were doing Sharpies, all in, like, between Queen Creek and, like, the edge of Gilbert.
Yep. And those ones are not being counted.
Yeah.
They're invalid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
like, I approve.
So they're invalidating votes is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
That's how I feel
it's their
Okay.
ballot.
And then there was a guy that directly came out and yelled at me 3 times. They both came out.
Oh, no, they called the sheriffs and said that, and told us to stop handing out the ballpoint pens, in which case, those are the only ones that are actually being counted and validated.
I used your pen and then I
Yeah.
sent it back to you and I
And
said,
they're-
give this to somebody. 'Cause
Yes, yes. And so we know that, and we've been telling them, you need to use a ballpoint pen, not the Sharpie, and now those are getting invalidated.
Yeah.
So people are coming here to vote for Donald Trump, and those votes are all getting invalidated. That's what's going on.
All the Republican challengers out of this pool.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
The FBI are saying they've got no evidence at the moment of massive voter fraud. There have been some claims about, I mentioned earlier, that batch of votes going into Pennsylvania that was 100% for Joe Biden. Project Veritas, which are an active social media group who have got some runs on the board for highlighting some inconvenient facts in the past, have posted a story in the last couple of hours that alleges some cases, some allegations, some instances of voter fraud in Michigan. Have a look and make up your own mind.
We were issued a directive this morning to collect any ballots we find in mailboxes, collection boxes, just outgoing mail in general, separate them at the end of the day so that they could hand stamp them with the previous day's date. Today is November 4th, for clarification.
So 8 p.m. Election Day, November 3rd. The Court of Appeals ruled ballots have to be received by that time. And what were you told?
To separate them today so they could mark them with yesterday's date and send them through the express system to wherever they needed to go.
This appears to be an attempt to circumvent Michigan law and allow late votes. And you said there was a hamper where letter carriers were supposed to leave their ballots. Where are the ballots now?
They were putting them into express bags to go to the distribution center. In regards to a hamper, there's a standard hamper that all letter mail is supposed to go to, and they had a tub next to it that we were supposed to put any ballots collected today into.
Now, we haven't been able to independently verify that, but it gives you an idea of the sorts of allegations, the sorts of carry-on that could go on, and obviously those claims will now be investigated.
Excuse me?
again. Reports of broken voting machines in New York City and voters being told they will scan the ballots when the machines are back up. A report from a voter in Greenville, South Carolina. She waited 2 hours to vote only to be told that the scanners were broken and the votes would be tabulated later. She said her ballot was then tossed in a barrel with other ballots. Now look, in Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas, and we don't have a single Trump sign at a single polling place because this Republican Party is laying down. But see, that's the power of Trump. He's trumped the Republican Party. Here's a lady running for a seat in North Carolina endorsed by Planned Parenthood, mind you, Gail Young. First, last night she said, there is no cheating. The candidates with the most votes wins. Your voice is important. Plan to vote at your polling location tomorrow. Then this morning she says, if you voted at Hickory Ridge Middle School in Harrisburg between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m., you were given the wrong ballot. Please return to correct your vote. What? The wrong ballot? What does that even mean? Again, the crew is just rolling some of the B-roll from the empty polling places here in Austin with 0 Trump signs. Yeah, folks, the Republican Party laid down this election. Thank God Donald Trump is the new Republican Party. It's not even the Republican Party. It's really the Trump Party at this point. Los Angeles Times. Michigan officials are alerting voters that texts they received Monday reporting broken scanners and robocalls urging voters to cast ballots on Wednesday are false. Well, I wonder who would do that. Who would do such a thing? I don't know. Not the Dems. Not the damn Democrats that's trying to steal Michigan. The FBI and federal elections officials are looking into anonymous robocalls received by voters in several states. The call tells voters now is the time to stay home, stay safe, and stay home. And the FBI is investigating, folks. Well, you know what that's called? A pig circus. Investigating themselves. Amazing, isn't it?
Democrat in the city of Philadelphia. Today, I'm at the Philadelphia Convention Center, and I am overseeing the ballot counters. I will let you know the corruption that is going on here. They will not allow us within 30 to 100 feet to supervise the ballots being counted. This is a coup against the President of the United States of America, and I want to call out the Mayor of Philadelphia, James Kenney, the Attorney General, Josh Shapiro, who tweeted that there's no way Donald Trump can win President of the United States of America, and also the District Attorney of Philadelphia, Larry Krasner. I can't believe what I'm seeing right before my eyes. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden or Donald Trump. This has to do with our democracy, and I will tell you, there is corruption at the highest level in the city of Philadelphia.
A baking powder? Excuse me? A baking powder? Excuse me? A baking powder?
I went to vote and was told I already voted. I pursued the matter, and in years past, I always voted in person. This time, they mailed out the ballot, and somebody took my ballot. They also took the ballot of my roommate. I was told by the interviewer from Channel 8, when I said, did other people do this? He said, yes. He said, you're the first dump. Thank you.
Ms. Stokey, will you spell your name for us, please?
S is in Sam, T is in Tom, O-K-K-E.
Good morning. I'm Chris Perdone. I'm going to give my account what happened. I was here, actually been here quite a bit, and was here with members of the Trump campaign and came in a media capacity to obtain content information on election night, and unfortunately was stereotyped in that regard, and you can take for that what you may, and was not able to obtain any type of access by any means, and got a little bit, I guess you can say assertive or aggressive is the word, so to speak, and the question was asked at 1:30 in the morning, why are you here? And our response was, well, it's election night. That's why we're here, and you guys are obviously counting ballots. And it was unique because they said they had an hour and a half left of counting to do, and an official came out who was kind and access to signed documents, and a few moments later we were asked to leave. Well, I find it ironic we were asked to leave within 10 to 12 minutes when they said they had an hour and a half of counting left to do. And clearly that was an attack, I think, on any type of conservative media or any individual or entity that wanted to have access and cover. And we find it very unique that other outlets are able to have full access, but we were not given any type of access whatsoever. And they questioned the validity of my background, any type of media, any type of experience whatsoever. So that was my personal account. And
7:30 p.m. on election night, when Customs and Border Protection officers say they stopped a U.S. postal worker near the Peace Bridge after getting off the 190 at the wrong exit. Customs and Border Protection officers did a sweep of his personal car. It was there investigators say they opened the trunk of Brandon Wilson's vehicle and found a postal carrier box with 3 absentee ballots sent to 2 Buffalo addresses from the Erie County Board of Elections, 106 political mailings, 220 first-class mailings, and 484 standard mailings. That's a total of 813 mail pieces that prosecutors say did not belong to Wilson.
Oh my God. Hi. Hey, so you with the elections? You're the Bureau of Elections, right?
Well, I'm just a volunteer.
We're just wondering okay, I understand you're a volunteer and you're just doing your job. What's all these? Are these mail-in ballots or what's these coming in?
What are these?
Uh-huh.
These are my in tape here?
What's that?
Am I in tape as well?
Yeah, because we're wondering why are ballots being handled down here and not up there with the elections? So we're curious about that.
Okay, yeah, the gentleman who's in charge of this, I think, should be right back down.
What's his name?
Gosh, what is his name? Do you know his name?
Are you volunteer or employee?
I'm a poll watcher. Okay.
Well,
I'm a
our
poll.
supervisor will be back here.
So what's his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just volunteer.
And you're a volunteer? What kind of volunteer are you? With the elections?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just curious. Just curious.
This is out of the playbook. South America. Excuse me, sir. You cannot cover these windows. We will file a federal lawsuit. This is what we're seeing right now. We're witnessing.
Has been arrested accused of dumping mail, which included election ballots, into a dumpster. Investigators say that Nicholas Beauchesne of Kearney, New Jersey, threw out more than 1,800 pieces of mail, which included 99 general election ballots intended to be delivered to residents along his routes in Orange and West Orange. The Postal Service says that mail has since been delivered. Beauchesne will be arraigned this afternoon and faces 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Let me say one final thing. There were 682,479 ballots counted in Philadelphia, in Allegheny County, that there were no poll watchers allowed to watch. It's the job of the media to ask the question why, because all we are asking for is truth, transparency, and sunlight here. That is all we are asking for, and sadly we are asking the questions many of you should.